How's everybody doing? This is Manny. This is actually my first video loaded up to YouTube, and we're now going to talk about today about a Mewtwo Raid guide, what counters you should be using, what weather you should look for if you're looking for a boosted Mewtwo, what are the capture chances, and what CPs you should be looking for. Now, this is actually from the PokemonGoHub.net. You can actually look it up. I'll put the link in the description. And we're going to talk about some good tips to help a lot of you who've got an EX Raid Pass recently to actually, or if you're looking to get an EX Raid Pass later, to be prepared for the actual raid. So, Mewtwo actually has a boss CP of 49,340, and it is considered to be the strongest Pokemon in the game. It is a pure Psychic type. If you have at least 6 players, you can actually beat Mewtwo, of course, if they have the right counters. So let's look at the CP. So there are 2 different types of CPs you should be looking for if you're doing a raid. A no-weather perfect IV Mewtwo has a CP value of 2275. So if you are not, you are basing any type of weather besides windy, 2275 is the CP you want to be looking for a perfect Mewtwo. If you're in windy weather, which is the only weather that Mewtwo gets a boost, because it is a Psychic type, is 2844 CP. 2844 CP is what you should be looking for. Obviously, the closer your Mewtwo CP to these CPs, the better IV it is. Okay? Now, Mewtwo can learn different moves. It can learn a Ghost-type move, such as Shadow Ball. It can learn Fighting-type moves. So, its moves can be boosted besides windy. For Psychic, it can move in foggy weather and in cloudy weather. So if you are doing an EX Raid and your weather icon is either windy, foggy, or cloudy, just keep in mind that Mewtwo's moves will be boosted and they're going to deal a lot more damage. Now let's go ahead and get into the counters. What Pokemon should you use to battle Mewtwo? Now Mewtwo is weak to dark types, ghost, and bug type Pokemon, and there's a lot of different types of Pokemon you can use. Now, these are the actual recommendations for Mewtwo. As you can see, those are the weaknesses, Dark, Bug, and Ghost. The best Pokemon to use against Mewtwo is, of course, Tyranitar, because of its very strong Dark-type moves. You want to make sure you have Bite and Crunch if you're going to have a Tyranitar. If you so happen to have a Mewtwo, you want to actually have Psycho Cut and Shadow Ball. Psycho Cut is basically short, and you can have a lot more Shadow Balls and have a lot more attacks. That's, of course, if you're lucky to have a Mewtwo already, but if it's your first, you're going to have to stick with Tyranitar, unless, of course, your Mewtwo has Focus Blast. If it has Focus Blast, a Fighting-type move, your Tyranitars are going to be knocked out if you don't dodge on one Focus Blast. Now, if you don't have Tyranitar or you don't have Mewtwo, there are some other Pokemon you can use. There is Houndoom with Dark-type moves with Snarl and Foul Play. You have Gyarados with Bite and Crunch, Dark-type moves. Dragonite can be used. It is a powerhouse Pokemon with Dragon-type moves with Dragon Tail and Outrage. Gengar with Ghost-type moves, Sucker Punch and Shadow Ball. Scissor with Bug-type moves, Fury Cutter and X-Scissor. And we have some Gen 3 Pokemon here with Dark-type moves. We have Shiftry with Feint Attack and Foul Play. Groudon with Snarl and Night Slash, and we have Pinsir with Fury Cutter and X-Scissor. So like I do mention, if you want to get prepared, what you want to do now with the new system where you can actually create a party, you want to start creating and setting aside those Pokemon that you want to use depending on the moves that Mewtwo has. If you have a non-Focus Blast Mewtwo, you want to make sure you get as many Tyranitars as you have, or as with Dark-type moves, use Gyarados, Dragonite if you have it. If you have another Mewtwo, use that. That's what you want to focus on. Now, if the Mewtwo has Focus Blast, then I will avoid Tyranitar altogether and use one of the other types of Pokemon. Now, Mewtwo is actually the best counter against Mewtwo, but of course, not a lot of people are going to have a lot of Mewtwo, especially if it's your first raid. So what I'm going to do to help you guys get some tips is I'm going to actually go over a raid that I did many, many months ago for a friend. It's actually the old system when the raids were about an hour. And I'm going to go over the catch sequence and let you guys know what actually occurred. So let's get into that. This is the actual video. I did a recording of it. And we're going to the volume so you guys can hear me. As you can see here, there's 10 players in the lobby. I am putting the EX Raid Pass invite, and I got into the lobby with 68 seconds left. Now, I did get recommended Tyranitar in this actual raid, which means I'm going to face a Mewtwo that does not have Focus Blast. And I got recommended Golem, Kabutops, Rhydon, and Gengar. Now, this, like I said, this is the old system. I'm going to breeze through this. I don't have an option to get a party here. You guys do have the option now with the new update. I'm going to actually breeze through this fight and actually get to the catch sequence so I can give you guys some tips on what you guys should be doing. So we're going to breeze through this. So you can see we're actually battling Mewtwo here. And we actually ended up beating it with about, how many seconds? 192. It actually went down. I had the Kabutops there. And it's 2207 was the CP, which is not very good. It's probably in the 70s. Very bad IVs. Those are the rewards there, 10,000 XP. I got 6, 7, and I got 8 balls. So, now, before we start in the catch sequence here, I'm going to just let you guys know that now this is the old catch sequence. Mewtwo actually has a very high catch chance to catch. So as long as you concentrate, my recommendation is you want to make sure you hit it right on the head. You want to set your target to try to hit greats, excellence if you can. Use golden raspberries. Now, some people, I tend to use Pineapps as the first throw, especially if you get a lot of balls. You want to make sure that you get a good practice throw if you want to gauge how far it is so you can adjust your throw that you do. But it is actually a very easy Pokemon to catch. So before we get into the catch sequence, let's go over the capture chances from the PokemonGoHub.net article. So it's actually all the way at the bottom. So as you can see here, one of the things I would recommend, especially if you don't have it, you want to make sure you get the Psychic Medal. The Psychic Medal will help you tremendously. Just for comparisons, you can see, if you throw the excellent throw with the golden raspberry, you don't have the Psychic Medal, your best chances of catching Mewtwo are 33.31%. If you have the gold, which means you've caught 200 Psychic Pokemon, excellent throw, curve, golden Raz goes up to 40.94%. So it's basically a high jump. You want to make sure you get the gold. It's a very easy medal to get. You just grind some Psychic Pokemon and you can actually get it. So let's go ahead and go to the raid so we can go over some tips. Now, as you can see here, I am throwing a golden raspberry here for the first throw, and I'm setting my target. And as you can see, that's Mewtwo's attack. He basically puts his arm inside and he crosses his arms and he puts his arm out. You want to make sure you throw right after he does the attack. Now, as you can see there, I curved the ball, but I didn't hit a nice, great, or an excellent. So he jumped right out. So what my recommendation is, you want to make sure you have consistency. If you can throw excellence consistently on every throw, go for it. You're going to have a 40.94% chance of catching the Mewtwo. But if you cannot throw excellence consistently, I would stick to greats. Because if you miss the excellent, it goes down to 24.77%, which is about 25%. That's a 16% drop in the catch rate. So you want to make sure you stay consistent, throw the balls as best as you possibly can. Even a nice throw with a golden Raz is better than just a normal throw. So that's what I would recommend. So what I would recommend is to go ahead and do what works for you. Do what works for you. So let's get back into the catch sequence here. As you can see, this is my second ball throwing at this, and I did set the target, and I went ahead and threw the ball, and I got a great. So great, and one shake, and he jumped right out. So as you can see, I missed the first throw, I got a great on the second throw, and I'm throwing another golden raspberry here, and I'm setting the target, and I went ahead and I missed. So you see here, this is what is important to stay consistent. You want to make sure you stay consistent with the throws, and he jumped out after the second throw. Now, I'm not going to spoil if I caught this or not. This was actually my first time doing an EX raid and going after Mewtwo. I didn't really know a lot about this. I didn't really prepare that much. It was a friend's account. I did the best that I could. And I'll let you know. I'm not going to spoil to what happened. But my recommendation is to stay consistent with your throws. That would be my #1 actual advice. You want to make sure you go after the, you throw right in the head. I got another great there. So 1 shake, 2 shakes, and he jumped right out. So I have 4 balls here. I'm actually quite nervous here. And I did set the target again. Now, just so you guys know, once you guys set the target, you don't got to keep setting it. It will stay at that same target every time. But like I said, this was done many, many months ago before I actually learned all these things. And I want to, hopefully this is helpful to a lot of you as I'm sharing this information. Now, Mewtwo does jump around a lot, so you want to make sure you're patient and you wait. Now, here I got an excellent here with the throw, and he jumped right after the first shake. So I have 3 balls here. Like I said, this is not my account. I'm very nervous. Am I going to catch this or not? Now, I'm going to breeze through so you can kind of see what happened. Now, I did throw a ball there. He jumped right out. So now I have 2 balls left. I'm setting the target bigger. I decided, you know what? I'm going to try to go for greats. So I recommend get comfortable with the throwing. Do the best you can. And make sure you're consistent. If you can throw excellence consistently on every throw, go for excellence. If not, go for greats. If not, do nice. As long as you're consistent, you should be able to catch it. Now, I'm going to show you after this video a catch sequence that I did with the new updated catch screen. Mewtwo is a lot closer. This is the old one. He used to be farther back. So as you can see, I'm going to just breeze through this real quick because we don't have a lot of time here. And this is the last throw here, and I got a great, and he jumped right out. So that was actually the second to last throw. Now this is the last ball here. I'm about to throw the ball. So let's go ahead and move on to the next video. Now, this is another video that I actually did here. And as you can see, I got 10 balls in this one. Now, in comparison, as you can see, here Mewtwo is, and he is a lot closer, as you can see from the last video. This is actually the new updated, and I'm setting the target here. I'm going for greats. I did set a golden Raz, and I have 10 balls. So you want to make sure you take your time. You want to aim for the head. And here we go. And I got a great. So that's great. Remember, a great is actually a 35% chance. He jumped out. So I'm going to go for a second throw. And here we go. That's another great. So that's 2 greats in a row. That's the consistency I'm talking about. Getting greats in a row. And he jumped out. So that's 2. If you throw a great and you have a 35% chance, you should be able to catch Mewtwo in 1 to 4 balls. This is my third throw. Another great. 3 greats in a row. 1, 2, and 3. I caught it there on the 3rd ball. So it's all about consistency. So let's end that one there. And let's go to the next video. Now here, this one was caught, but I want to show you basically from the beginning. I had 11 balls here on this one. And as you can see, that little gold medal here on the top, that's why it's very important to get the gold medal. It will help you out. I know I missed that throw there, as you can see. This was actually the first time getting that. Now, I didn't throw consistently there, but as you can see, this was actually when the Mewtwo actually moved closer. It kind of threw me off a little bit. So I decided here to go ahead and start. I set the target again. This is why it's important. If Mewtwo does change, you want to make sure you do a Nana Berry in the beginning if you have a lot of balls, because you want to make sure you can set the target. Now I did miss there. I didn't get anything. I was trying to get an excellent, which is a mistake. Now, as you can see, I caught it. I didn't hit anything. But look, wait, you see, it was because of the gold medal. Let me just go back and show you that. So that's where the gold medal is important. If you miss, at least with the gold medal, and I'll stop it right there. As you can see, it's flashing right on the top. That was the reason why I caught that Mewtwo, because of that gold medal. So that gold medal is very important, especially if you're going to be doing a raid to catch it, okay? So hopefully all these tips helped you guys out. If you guys have any questions or any other things you'd like me to answer, just leave some comments down below. Hopefully you like the video. Make sure you subscribe for more videos. And have a good one.